So, yesterday we wrote the formulas. Today we're going to use them. So, I told you that the explicit formula lets you find any of the terms. So, it's pretty useful. The recursive formula only lets you find the term if you know the previous term. So, we're not going to use recursive formula, we're going to use explicit. So, first let's find a term. So, let's say we want to find the 10th term. For each of these. So let's say we have 9, 12, 15, etc. So to write the explicit formula, we need first to decide is it arithmetic or geometric. So which one is this? Arithmetic, because what's happening each time? Yeah, we're adding 3. So then to write the explicit formula, it's AN equals A1, which is what? 9, plus our common difference, which we said was 3, times n minus 1. And so then we can simplify it. If we distribute the 3, we get an equals 9 plus 3n minus 3. So then we get an equals 3n plus 6. So with this formula, we can find any term, whatever term that we want to find, okay? But we want to find the 10th term. So we're going to take 10 and plug it in. So a sub 10, because we want the 10th term, equals 3 times 10 plus 6. Okay, so we wanted the 10th term, and n is the number of the term. So that's 10. Then I just simplify it and I get what? You got it. So then the 10th term would be 36. Questions? Yeah.
So for A1, is it always the first number? Like 9?
Yes, A1 stands for the first term. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's look at another one. Let's say we have 1/4, 1/2, 1, 2, etc. So is this one arithmetic or geometric? Geometric. What do we multiply by each time? Good. Times 2. Good. So then our explicit formula is AN equals A1, which is what? 1/4 times R, which is 2, to the n minus 1. So this one we can't simplify anymore, so we can go ahead and find the 10th term. So we plug in 10. So a sub 10 equals 1/4 times 2 to the 10 minus 1. And then you can just type it in your calculator just like that. And what do you get? Yes, 128. Good. Questions? So sometimes you might not be given like the first few terms of the sequence. You might be given like 2 random terms. So that's what we're going to do now. So now we want to write the recursive formula. No, just kidding, the explicit formula. For each. So let's say this one is arithmetic. And we know a sub 9 is 87 and a sub 15 is 141. Okay. So in order to write the explicit formula, we need to know A1 and D. Well, I don't know A1. I know A9, and I know A15, so I know the 9th term and the 15th term. So what we have to do is kind of manipulate our explicit formula in order to be able to plug these in. So, you know, in general, our explicit formula is AN equals A1 plus D times N minus 1. Okay. So this N minus 1 in our parentheses is there because AN is the nth term and A1 is the first term. Well, I don't know either of those. I know A9 and I know A15. So AN comes after A1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the N with a 15 and the 1 with a 9. So that'll look like this. So A sub 15 equals A sub 9. Okay, so I'm changing out the N for a 15. I'm changing out the 1 for a 9. Plus, we don't know D. That's what we're trying to find. But now where my N was, I've got a 15. Where my 1 was, I've got a 9. So 15 minus 9. Okay, and again, I put the 15 first because 15 comes after 9. Questions? Okay. So now I plug in. So I know that A sub 15 is 141. So 141 equals, I know that A sub 9 is 87, plus, I don't know D, but I know that 15 minus 9 is 6. Bless you. Well, if I look at this, can I solve this for D? Yeah. So what should I do? Subtract 87. Which gives me 54 equals 6D. And then what? You got it. So in this one, our common difference is 9. Questions on that? Okay. So we have our common difference. We still need our A1. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our explicit formula again and let A1 be my unknown. So now in this case you can use A sub 9 or you can use a sub 15. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. Okay? So let's use our a sub 15. So a sub 15, well, let's not do that. So we know a sub 15 is 141. So 141 equals a1, we don't know that, that's what we're trying to find, plus, we know our common difference is 9, times, well, we're using the 15th term, so our n is 15 minus 1. So then we just simplify it. So 141 equals a sub 1 plus 15 minus 1 is 14 times 9 is 126. And then how could I find a1? $15 minus 1 is 14, and 14 times 9. And so then I just subtract. So a1 equals 15. So we do want to write the explicit formula. Now we have a1 and d, that's everything we need. So an equals, our a1 is 15 plus 9 times n minus 1. So if I distribute that 9, that's going to give me 9n minus 9, and 15 minus 9 is 6. That's a 9, not an 8. Questions? Alright, let's do one where it's geometric, and then I'll let y'all try some. So let's say it's geometric, and we know that a sub 2 is 4, and a sub 5 is 108. So our second term is 4, our fifth term is 108. So we still want to do explicit, so we still need a1, and this time we need r. And then since it's geometric, an equals a1 times r to the n minus 1 is our general formula. So again, just like this last one, I was able to replace the n with the 15 and the 1 with the 9. So we'll do the same kind of thing here, except we'll replace the n with the 5 and the 1 with the 2. So that'll be a sub 5 equals a2 times, we don't know r is what we're trying to find, but now instead of n we have 5, and instead of 1 we have 2. And now we can plug in, because we know a sub 5 is 108. We know a sub 2 is 4. And we can say 5 minus 2 is 3, so 4r to the third. And then how do I solve this one? Yeah. So divide by 4. So 108 divided by 4 gives us 27 equals r to the third. How do I get rid of a third power? Good, cube root it. And the cube root of 27, that's 3. Good. So in this one, our common ratio is 3. Good. But we still have to find A1. So again, we can use the A2, we can use the A5, it don't matter. Either one will give us the same answer. Let's use the A2. So in this one, our AN is our A2, which is 4. So 4 equals A1, that's what we're trying to find, we still don't know what that is, times, but now we know our ratio is 3, and then 4 is the second term, so 2 minus 1. Because we're using a sub 2 equals 4. So then 4 is the term, but 2 is it's the second term. Well, now we simplify it. So what is 2 minus 1? So then we get a sub 1 times 3 to the first. And 3 to the first is just 3. So then to solve it, we just divide by 3. So then our A1 is 4/3. And now we have everything we need, so our explicit would be AN equals A1 is 4/3 times our ratio is 3 to the n minus 1. And now with that, we can find any term that we want to find.